Howdy doody! Welcome back to the ranch. My name is Mick. This behind me is my 1970s Fiat Allis 7GB track loader. I just picked this thing up at auction, and right after I pulled it off the trailer, I blew a hydraulic line. So that's gonna prompt me to start all the maintenance on it, so let's get started. So if you're familiar with the channel, this is a familiar face to you. Sorry about that. This is a familiar face to you already. I just picked this thing up at auction. I got it for cheap for what it is. It's about a 30,000 pound machine. Should be fully functional, which I believe it is, but there are a couple things that definitely need attention. I paid, after taxes and fees, it was about $4,000. So pretty cheap for what it is. I'll definitely be able to make use of it around here. Starting with the garage demo project, which I was hoping to start essentially this week, but I need to do a couple of things to this first. Like I said, right after I got it off the trailer, I blew a hydraulic line. So the bucket came crashing down, and here it sits in the middle of my driveway, unfortunately. But it should be a pretty easy fix. I already got an eye on which line it is. So I gotta peel that thing off before the sun goes down tonight so I can get it to my neighbor so he can make me up a new line. So other than the hydraulic line, what do I know about this thing? Not a lot, per usual. I know it's a 6-cylinder, right? I don't even know that, do I? Injectors are on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6-cylinder. Diesel. I don't know anything about it, who makes it, and what have yous, but it's a 6-cylinder diesel. It's got a turbo on it. It runs great. It starts right up, but this cylinder right here, the supply line blew. So I gotta get here behind these plates and get to that line. I got some rubber plugs here to plug them up after I peel it off. After we do that, I definitely need to adjust the left track brake, hoping it's just out of adjustment because I barely got any brake at all. So maybe we could tighten that up and get it functioning better. And then the transmission oil is basically bone dry, and there's definitely water in it. So we're gonna have to deal with that as well. Other than that, like I said, great machine. I'm probably going to focus on the hydraulic line, the left brake, and the transmission oil now, get my garage demoed, and then jump back to things like engine oil, fuel filters, stuff like that. But I need this thing, so let's get it back in working order for now. All right, so here's what we're looking at here. My right side lift cylinder. That is my supply line. You can tell because it runs to this hard line that loops back around and runs to the base of the cylinder. So that's gonna pump fluid and push it out. So that's the one that blew up, I believe. I got a fitting here that should be relatively easy to get to. It's gonna be kind of tough with how close it is to the steel. Then I have an access plate right here. I got 3 bolts to take off, and I should be able to get to the top fitting right there. So let me get that access plate off, grab some wrenches, see if we can pop this thing off. All right, 2 here and 1 on the side. Don't tell me I gotta take this linkage apart. I don't wanna do that. Now I have access to that line. It's this one right here. Got it. Sorry, I'm sure your view isn't the best here, but I'm just doing what I can. I've got rubber plugs down there, so I'm gonna grab one and be ready with it when this thing pops off. Yep. All right, there's one end, and it's bone dry, so I picked the right line. This one is right here. Surprisingly have a wrench that fits it. This is a Mac wrench. I have no idea where I got this thing from. Oh, should have used leverage a long time ago. That was easy. And there she is. Definitely rough. Crumbling apart. But good news is, nice and short. Oop, here's the oil. I'm gonna get this over to my neighbor and see if he can't make me up a new one, and we can put this thing back in business. That way I can get this thing out of my driveway. But sun's going down. I knew this was all I was gonna be able to do tonight just to get started, but we're started. So I will see you all back here when I have this line made up, probably about a day or two. I don't know what the saying is, it pays to have good neighbors, but look at this. I got 2 lines, and he even put the like wearing protection over the line, which I did not ask for and quite frankly didn't need, but very much appreciated. I did ask him for a second line because I'm sure that if that one was in such poor shape, there's going to be another one that's not far behind, and all 4 lines on each side are the same exact line. So I got an extra, and then this man gave me 4 gallons of hydraulic fluid too. Man, thanks Dave. If you're watching this, I really appreciate it. Thank you. So let's throw one of these lines on, fill her up with fluid, and then the plan is I'd like to maybe pop the cover off and see while I got daylight still if I can adjust that left track brake. And if I can do it real quick, that's great. If not, I'll track this thing back to the pad by the container shop in the back, flip on my lights, and adjust them back there. But without further ado, now that it's November and daylight savings, I only got until about 5:30 p.m. until the sun goes down. It's 4:30 now. So let's get this thing back on, get back to work. Looking at the clouds rolling in. Oh, and right as I start talking, it's gonna start raining. I'm gonna cut this camera off, but I'm gonna keep working until it's pouring.
Somewhere in the night, it's gonna hit like lightning. It's gonna be so frightening when you find your love is gone.
My luck around here, whenever I try working, it just starts pouring. Maybe it'll pass. I'll check the weather. Hate that. Line's on though. All right, the rain stopped, but I already took this off. The rain stopped, but it's really windy and the sun's going down. I'm just gonna see if I can't track this to the back, get my grader moved out of here, and then just shut it down for the night. But I'm gonna throw 2 gallons of oil in here, see if that does it for me. But lucky me, I got another 2 gallons sitting right in my truck. I'm just reluctant to top this thing all the way off because I fear for my other lines. All right, let's see what that does. That's warming up. I also got to move this grader out of the way. So fire this one up too. I wish this one didn't leak so much because she would be cherry if she didn't. Hey, higher gears work. She cruises. So close to being awesome. So close to being an awesome machine. Since I'm going to be using this to demo this garage, I should probably just work on it up here. Yeah, this thing needs brake work desperately, but it works good enough to just track it around a bit. But we'll get back on this thing tomorrow when I got some daylight and hopefully some better weather. It's supposed to be a little bit colder tomorrow, but I'm just hoping for no wind, no rain. That's all I ask for. Hi, honey girl. Okay, I think at this point I've earned myself the right to a little break. So I'm gonna slip my boots off, jump up on the track here and pop a little squat. Oh, did you notice my super comfortable work boot socks from Brunt Workwear? That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Brunt Workwear has sponsored another Nock Ranch video. Can you believe it? I can't. If you've been watching my latest videos, you've heard me talk about Brunt Workwear before. They asked me what I wanted for this video, and I don't know if they were shocked, but my response was dead set on a set of work socks. Now, if you're in the trades, you consider yourself blue collar, you're walking around in your boots all day, there's nothing worse than having a good quality pair of boots and then just having your socks fall apart within them. So if you were like me and you're looking for a good set of socks to put under your boots, this is the answer. They're a great material, they're breathable but insulated well, supported in the right areas. They're tall enough to fit under a tall work boot, but not too tall where you're wearing them like stockings. And they're not too short where they're falling down in the boot, and you get the picture. With that said, the holidays are coming up, and if you're looking for gifting options for your significant other, son, brother, cousin, jump over to Brunt's website, pick them up something simple like an accessory, hat, pair of socks, pair of skivvies, or make them real happy. Pick up a pair of boots. You saw him give my dad a well-deserved pair of Brunt work boots. They have regular toe, steel toe, the Brunt comp toe. You saw from before my Chevlin high-vis hoodie. I told you I was going to tell you how that was holding up. I've washed it a couple times now. It's really well structured still. Material's really thick. Like I said before, it's almost like a jacket. Super impressive. But with that said, I want to keep this short, so I want to thank Brunt for supporting me and the channel. And of course, this also comes with a discount code. You can click the link in my description or scan the QR code on the screen. Use the code KnockRanch10 for $10 off your first order. And with all that said, I'd love to milk this a little bit longer, but I think it's time to get back to work. I'm gonna slip my boots back on. Let's get back to wrenching. All right, time to get to work on these clutch brakes. It's close quarters, so it's gonna be tough to record in here, but I'll do my best. Let's get these pans off first. So here's our adjustments. Essentially, when I push the lever, I got this rod here is what pulls for the brake. And I'm assuming I just need to drive this to a different position to make it tighter. But that is something that I'm gonna take to the book since I have it here. Once I figure it out, I'll let you know. Boy, did I have a rough evening last night, but I got nothing done. I was just trying to fix everything else, and then ended up fixing nothing. So we got this pressure washed down a bit. Let me show you what we got going on underneath here. So from what I understand, this is a viewing port, and the brake band is under this cover here. And then down yonder, it's easier to see the right side. See that stainless bolt right there? Apparently, those drive straight down to the brake bands, and you can tighten them up. The book says tighten them to 80 foot-pounds and then back them off one click or one turn. I think I'm just gonna go for feel here. I'm gonna try and get that little viewing port cover off and see if I can actually see what's going on in there, and then just tighten both sides down and loosen them up a little bit, and just get up in the seat and see if I have better feel that way. The adjustments in the cab, I believe, are for after you adjust the brake bands. It's a little confusing, but I have good throw from what I can see as far as engagement with the clutch, which is all hydraulic. You know, it acts as, one pedal acts as both the clutch and the brake. So as you push it, it releases the clutch, and as you push it further, it engages the brake. And from what I can see, everything's right except for my brake isn't grabbing the way it should on the left side. The right side is pretty decent, but I'm gonna see if I can adjust it while I'm in here doing it, and while it's quasi clean. Let's see, it's really tight in there. It's gonna be tough to get it on camera, but I'll do my best. Let's just tighten that left side down, see what we get. See if I could sneak this through you. Not even remotely close. All right, so really tough to see, but I got the right side port off, and I am tightening this nut, and hopefully that's tightening my brake band.
That is not correct.
This is gonna take a minute because it's really tough to get, one, a camera in here, but two, my wrench in here because I don't have the properly sized wrench. You can yell at me in the comments if you want. Okay, well, I'm glad that I took a sanity check there for a second because it's so hard to see in there. I don't know what I was turning. It made sense that those two matching stainless nuts to me were the adjustments, but I just looked at the book again, and then I looked in my little porthole. Thank God I could get the right one open. It's actually, you have to take an extension and drive it into the little porthole and turn it, and that's what tightens the brake band. By hook or by crook, I need to get that left one off, which I'm not too worried about it. I'll be able to get it. This right one, I should be able to reach down with an extension, tighten that one up, and that should be tightening my brake band. Okay, you can just barely see that piece of stainless down there that I'm gonna put my extension into and turn that to the right. I have no way of actually showing you what I'm doing here, so this angle that you got is the best that I can do. I'm sorry. Also really tough to tell with an impact, so I'm gonna grab a ratchet. But for now, I'm gonna jump in the cab and see if I could order the Lord to give me a little daylight at 5 p.m. That would be sweet. But I'm gonna see what the brake pedal feels like, if it's any better than it was before. Of course, I'm still working with the side that wasn't really all that bad to begin with. Oh, that is too tight, which is great. That means I just need to loosen that up and do the other side. At least I know it's working. That was the goal there. So I'm gonna loosen that one up. So I'm just going for feel here, and then I'll do the left side. And with how recording is, I'm so sorry. I tried my best to give you an accurate depiction of what's going on, but I'm gonna throw in the towel with the camera for now and let you know what I come up with. Okay, I got the brakes adjusted how I want them, I think. I did end up getting the left port off, and I did that just by taking a hammer and whacking it a couple times, and then she finally broke loose. I was able to get in there, and thank God I tightened it up, and it actually tightened up. So I got the right and left kind of showing, you know, the same pressure, foot pressure is when it grabs. So I'm happy with that. I can always adjust it now that I know how to do it. Very easy, like most things, once you know how to do them. But now I've got a 5-gallon bucket of Dexron type ATF. That is what it calls for the transmission. And I believe I just need to dump enough in so it shows on the dipstick with it off. I think I'm just barely licking the surface of the dipstick at the moment, so it shouldn't take much more. And I figured as long as I got daylight, that's a joke, I'm just gonna jump in there and get this done. That way this machine is ready to go for tomorrow, because I got to start wrecking the garage tomorrow morning. So let's get this thing topped off with transmission oil, and maybe I might even just test it tonight just to see how the brakes feel, and if the transmission's acting any better with, you know, a good amount of fluid in it. Now, I am sure y'all are yelling at me in the comments at this point, because I just spent all that time putting the floodlights on my truck, which is sitting right there. And I also have a light plant that's just in my backyard. I just would have to hook it up and bring it over here. And I elected to use none of that to this point in the video, which is just me being stupid. I flipped on the floodlights on the front of the truck, but literally all I had to do was pull it forward and turn on the rear floodlights, and I would have light shining on the back of the loader this whole time. So that's cool. I'm just stupid, that's all. Trans and bevel gear operating range, check it low, idle, and neutral, but in the book it said if it's touching the stick while off, then you're good. But hey, I wanted to test this thing anyway, so why not just start it up and check it in neutral. Make sure I'm in neutral. I'm already tired of this weather. It's not even December yet, but it feels like it. So back on this thing, I've been using it here and there, but now I have a free minute. So what I want to do is swap out these two fuel filters here. And then I still have not even looked at the air filter, so I don't know what kind of shape that's in. So we'll pop that out of there, clean her up real nice, and throw her back in. And then I think at that point, that's all we're really going to do to this thing for now. But for now, let's see if I got my filters here. Hopefully they match. These are a Wix brand here. They look really old. Part number is 33351, which is what I got here. And that looks like my filter. So what I'm going to do is pop these off of here, and then I'm going to pre-fill these with some diesel if I can find some. I also just noticed that there's a little wiring issue that I think I'll fix at this point in time too, because I didn't see that before. Check that out, huh? That is some quality starter wiring there. So I'll probably disconnect my battery and solder these back together and throw some insulation over it, and that should fix that. Like I said, I mean, everything starts just fine on this thing, so I just cut a little corner, that's all. Alright, I'm not sure how much of this I'll be able to catch, but I'll try my darndest. Oh, wrong way.
Are you sure about that?
Nice part is these filters are easy to get to. Good thing they're easy to get to. I love it when I'm just feeling backwards today. It's like my own dyslexia. I'm going the wrong way. That's better. Am I the only one that does that? I know which way it's supposed to go. I don't know, something about not paying attention, I guess. All right, little mess, but not bad. I forgot to shut the fuel off. It was about halfway through filling up the second one. I was like, oh, I don't think I shut the valve off. I didn't, but that wasn't bad. What day is today? Thanksgiving. 11/27. 4,890 hours. I shut my battery disconnect off. Let's do something about this connection here. You do what you can in the cold, you know what I mean? That'll be good enough. All right, let's take a look at this air filter. Pretty loose, that's good news. Hopefully they add this off to either replace or clean recently. Yeah, it doesn't look too hateful. It might be a little dusty, but nothing the air compressor can't fix. Same story here. They're both wicks. I'm just going to take these over to my air compressor real quick and blow them out, but they really look pretty good. So I'll just blow them out real quick and throw them back in.
Who's your daddy?
I got a couple piles of concrete from the garage demo and some asphalt millings that I want to situate and organize over there. So let's put this thing to the test real quick. Okay, let's get her going here. I already had it running today. That's no fuel. I might have to bleed this thing. Let's see if a little bit of ether will bleed it out, but I might have to crack these lines. I think this little rubber cap is for ether. I guess I'll bleed the lines out. This bleeder screw is rounded off. The snow is really picking up and my hands are freezing. So this is going really well. Maximize the blood flow. I don't do well in the cold. Oh, there we go. Okay, that's definitely what it needed. Now I just have to somehow get this bleeder screw tightened back up because it's really hard to get to. That's great, I just dropped my wrench down there. This is the screw here. Pretty tough to get to begin with, and it's rounded off. And it's cold out. Toes are starting to get cold. I'm gonna amputate myself by doing something stupid like that, so that's cool. At least here I can, you know, get out of the way if it comes crashing down, which it has done before. All right, good. So here's the pile I was talking about. You'll see on a future video. I fit what I could in the dumpster and the rest I just brought it back here because I have this existing pile of concrete, so I'm just going to add to it. It's probably going to be kind of tough with this machine. It'd be a lot easier if I had an excavator, something like a Drot 40 or something. But I'm going to see what I can do. I really don't want to track all over this thing and break up the block into a million pieces, but unfortunately that's probably what is going to happen. Let's just test it out and see how it's going because it is really cold out here and I don't want to sit out here too long. So let me track this thing over. I'd say that's good enough for now. I'll come back a different day with a different piece of equipment to really clean this place up, but for now, that's, like I said, that's just good enough. What I really need at the moment is to get that TD14 steering. That way I have a dozer on site, because there's a lot of things around here that I could use a dozer for. So that is definitely hot on my list. I definitely need to get working on that thing and free up the steering clutches so I can actually use it. That'll do it for now for the Fiat Allis. I know a lot of you are wondering why I'm not changing the oil right now, and the answer is I would love to. But the oil looks good, for one. You know, it's to the proper mark, and you know, it's not just like running off the stick. It's, you know, it's got some viscosity to it. The main reason is there's a nice heavy skid plate underneath that machine in order to get to a drain plug. I'm just gonna wait until I have a skid steer, because what I would like to do is drop that whole skid plate, clean the whole thing up, because it's pretty gunky down there. So I'm in the market for a tracked skid steer. Once I do have one, I'll throw the forks on it, knock that skid plate off, change the oil, clean up the whole skid plate, the whole nine. But for right now, she'll be fine. I'm barely going to be running this thing as it is anyway. But I think the piles look good for now. They're at least consolidated and not just spread out in the open. Anyway, that'll do it for the Fiat Allis for now. If you guys enjoyed the video, please do me a favor. Like the video, share it, subscribe to the channel, all that fun stuff. If you want to follow me outside of YouTube, I post on Instagram, Facebook, and the TikTokies. Right now I'm working on the garage up front, so there'll be a video on the demo and build on that garage. I'm just about wrapping that up. And I need to, because as you can see, snow is flying. And yeah, a bunch of other things going on outside of that I will update you on here in the near future. But with that, I will see you all in the next one. But always remember, don't be afraid to grab that wrench and get after it yourself. We'll see you next time.